Heather, can you explain what happened? Because there are a lot of open jobs out there, and they're not getting filled. Why not?
Well, here's what we saw from April's jobs report, Stephanie. We've added about a little over 500,000 jobs per month for the past 3 months. It's a pace that's higher than the 3 months prior to this, where we only added about 60,000 jobs per month. And we saw a lot of indications deep in the data from April that people are increasingly searching for work. We saw an uptick in the labor force participation rate. We saw a decrease in the share of folks who are working involuntarily part-time. We saw an increase in hours. We did not see an increase in people working multiple jobs, however. And, in fact, we saw the largest 1-month increase in the share of people who say that they are that COVID is not preventing them from searching for work. We saw the largest 1-month increase since October. So there's a lot of indications that deep in the data that folks are out there searching for jobs. And, we continue to have over 8.2 million folks, down 8.2 million jobs relative to where we were pre-pandemic. But I want to emphasize, we did add jobs this month, and we're certainly on track. And so we can see a lot of evidence that the American Rescue Plan is indeed doing its job, making it safer to get back to work and getting folks back to work.
Heather, the last time you were here, I asked you about people choosing not to go back to work. Employers across the country, especially in the hospitality industry, telling us day in and day out they cannot get workers back, with workers getting paid. And I am absolutely not saying they don't need it. I'm not saying it's not too much. With people getting paid about $15, $16 an hour on unemployment benefits, it pays them more to stay home than it does to fill these jobs. Last time you were here, you said you didn't see evidence of that. How about now?
Still don't see strong evidence of that, Stephanie. In fact, here's the thing. In April, the largest gains in job creation were in leisure and hospitality, which includes those restaurants and bars. We saw 331 folks added
Heather,
in that
hold
sector.
On a second.
And
of course we would. That's the one industry that had the restrictions on them opened the most. And as we get vaccinated, the first thing we do is go out and socialize. I mean, that's kind of an of course, right?
Right. Well, but we are seeing that. So I think that does indicate that folks are out there getting jobs in that sector. The pace of job gains in that sector have been increasing. So I think that that's an important data point. We are not seeing, however, that there is a lot of folks who are not searching because of unemployment benefits. Indeed, as this report shows, there was an uptick in labor supply last month, and it still remains a difficult labor market for millions of workers. So, coming out of this pandemic is challenging. We have different conditions across the country. We can see the American Rescue Plan really doing its job, supporting families, making sure that they have that those child care centers are open, that those schools are getting open so that people can get back to work. And they've, increasingly got those shots in arms, which makes it safe to be out there.
Is that $39 billion from the American Rescue Plan making its way to child care centers? Exactly where? Because one number that sticks out to me is that we're not seeing women go back to work in December. They're still dealing with child care issues. So has that money been implemented?
It's starting to get out there, and certainly we've seen a lot of progress in terms of schools reopening. Here's the thing. I mean, in this month's report, you didn't see really large jumps in labor supply for either men nor women, but you're seeing this steady increase and certainly not the decrease. So I think that, what we saw this month is, again, the pace of job gains is, good over the past few months. And, we're seeing the effects of the plan out there, helping folks be able to get back to work.
Come next week when we see the job openings report, assuming that's enormous, and I would say that based on all the businesses that we poll every day, what are you going to make of that?
Well, all of these data points are data points. We saw this week.
I don't know what that means.
Well, all of them, we take them all together. So this week, for example, we saw that sharp decrease in the 1 month. And again, we don't make it too much about any 1 week change, but that sharp decrease in the number of folks applying for unemployment benefits. So we are seeing this strong, steady, stable progress to get back to back to normal. So I expect that we will continue to see, businesses opening up, continuing to hire people, and people continuing to get back to work. Again, there are indications throughout this report that people are increasingly searching, they're increasingly ready to get back to work, not saying that COVID is preventing them from getting a job. And I think that that is all movement in the right direction.
Do you think adjustments need to be made to the way unemployment works? For example, right now, we don't offer any phase-in for people who are trying to get back to work. We don't offer part-time unemployment. It's all or nothing. And for most states at this point, they still have the pandemic unemployment rules where you don't actually have to go out and seek a job while you're getting the benefit. Should we change that? Because some states are pulling that back.
So unemployment benefits are there for folks when they can't find a job and they've lost their job. I mean, and people have to certify that. So folks that are receiving those benefits have to say that they are searching for work and that they haven't been offered a job that they're not taking. So that system is working for people. It is incredibly important in an economy where we have over 8 million fewer jobs than we did pre-pandemic, that you have that benefit available as people continue to search for work. I will note that we do have a program available in over half the states that allows part-time unemployment benefits. It's called the Short-Time Compensation Program. Employers can implement it. If they want to bring back workers and have them have reduced hours, they can allow folks to receive partial unemployment benefits. So that is available in most states, and employers have the option of taking that up.
What's your take on the shortages that we're seeing right now? You're talking chicken to furniture, and this is really pushing prices higher. What are your inflationary concerns?
Listen, this pandemic has just been a real bear. We all know it. We know that it caused an enormous supply shock to our economy over 2020, and we are trying to work our way out of it. And we've known that there would be supply chain bottlenecks as things got back up and running and as businesses try to get back to the work of doing their businesses. And that is why the American Rescue Plan provided aid and support to businesses and to families and to communities in order to make that possible. So things like, helping businesses with their payroll or their other expenses. This week we talked a lot about the aid and support to restaurants to help them get back up and running and help, cover their costs. These are all policies that can help unlock some of those bottlenecks. But, this has been a big, enormous challenge in our economy, and it's taking we have to be patient as we get through it, but we are working our way through with these policies. And I think we see a lot of evidence in today's report that we are moving in the right direction.
Well, it's potentially, hopefully, a good moment for workers. There's a lot of jobs out there, and it's putting pressure on wages. That $28 billion in the American Rescue Plan that is going specifically to restaurants, when do you see that money going out? Because potentially it can be used to pay people more. That's one of the reasons all these restaurants say they're not getting workers. If you pay them more, they'll show up.
Certainly. So the application portal opened on Monday, and we had a strong number of folks apply for those benefits. And the program is now going to get up and running, and they'll start, getting out benefits in the weeks to come. It's really important that restaurant owners know that that benefit is available to them, that they can get onto the portal through the Small Business Association and apply for that aid to help cover the expenses, for payroll, for utilities, for supplies. So that American restaurants can get back up and running and people can go out and enjoy dinner with friends.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.